Good morning and welcome to Grapevine in Texas. I landed here at Dallas-Fort Worth yesterday and I'm here for the Project Management Institute's Leadership Institute meeting for their volunteers and chapter leaders. So I couldn't stay in the convention centre this time, which is where the event's being held, and that is over in that direction somewhere. So I'm here in the nearby town of Grapevine and I'm just having a wander around this morning and looking at the town. And the first thing that strikes me is how different it is from London. Firstly, everybody's really polite, and bits of it look like a film set, to be honest. And I'm standing actually at the moment in the Cotton Belt Route railway station, in the historic railway line. And to be honest, I wasn't sure when I first came down here this morning that it's actually a working station, but you can buy tickets and go up and down. So it looks very old. So I'm about to go into the Visitors Information Centre and find out a bit more about the town, and then this afternoon I'm going to head off into up to the Gaylord Convention Centre, and I'm giving a presentation this afternoon on social media and project management. So we'll see how the day unfolds. This is the Educational Pavilion at the Botanical Gardens in Grapevine in the Heritage Park. And one of the other things I've noticed this morning is that there are very few pedestrians, and so on the way here, when I turned off of Main Street, the pavement actually stopped and I had to walk along one of the side streets in order to get here, just on the verge of the road. And then you come onto another main street and the pavement just starts again. So I'm having a look around the Botanical Gardens this morning. There's quite a lot of historical things in Grapevine. It was a community founded about 1844 as a permanent settlement, and for me, coming from a city that was thriving easily 200 years before that at the Great Fire of London, historical has a different significance here than it does back at home, but it's interesting to see their heritage and the way that the town's been formed around cotton trade and the coming of the railways. So I'm learning a lot about the cotton routes, and there's lots of little signs around the town and statues as well. It's quite an interesting place. Well, I've made it to the Leadership Institute meeting, and while it doesn't look like there's actually that many people here, that's a shot of the bookshop, and there's a book signing going on at the moment. It's actually really busy. It certainly was at lunchtime, and so I'm off now to listen to this afternoon's keynote speaker, and then I'm speaking myself after the afternoon tea break. This is the main part of the hotel where the Leadership Institute meeting and the Global Congress is going to be held. And I'm rather disconcerted to see quite how many Christmas decorations there are. I don't know whether Texas has Christmas earlier than any other place, but you know, we're only in October. So I was expecting to see pumpkins, which is what I saw around Grapevine this morning. But I honestly am a bit taken aback by the fact that there's a Christmas tree in the coffee shop. But the hotel, as with the other Gaylord convention centres that PMI has used, is huge and a very impressive venue. I've just come from Gina Schreck's plenary session, and she had some really interesting things to say about social media and project management and how the world has changed. And I took quite a few notes, so let me read you some of them. One of the things that she was talking about was how her generation used to watch a lot of television. She put herself in the over 45 bracket, and she was saying that whereas we waste a lot of hours watching television, that's an argument really for how we could be using that time more productively to be co-creating content in a social media space. So she said basically her generation had a lot of time on their hands. They went to work, they came home, they ate and they watched TV. But now consumers are starting to not just want to watch, but also to interact and to create content as well. So that was the premise for her conversation around how the world in which we work has changed and why we need to be able to adapt to be able to work in the same way. She talked about Wikipedia, and she said that 100 million hours of human thought has gone into getting Wikipedia into the state that it is today, of consolidating all of that knowledge into the Wikipedia site. Which sounds like a lot, but then she said that there are 20 billion hours of time spent watching television in the US alone every year. So if people ask me, where do you get the time to do social media? What do you not do if you do social media? And that's really it, isn't it? I mean, we waste such a lot of time watching television that frankly we could be spending that doing something more productive. She was a really funny speaker actually, and she shared a couple of videos which I'll try and get hold of and post online as well. She talked a lot about video and the use of video, and said that YouTube is the second largest search engine. So in terms of being able to have search content and having a YouTube channel that really showcases your expertise, people were searching on YouTube as much as they are, almost as much as they are searching on Google to find the answers for things. And people want to consume content in bite-sized short videos. So there's an opportunity there for people to showcase their expertise. She talked about two groups of people, digital immigrants who have come late, her generation have come late to the party, and have either chosen to embrace social media and learn about it, or they're still sitting on the fence, or perhaps they're not interested at all. And digital natives who have grown up not knowing a world without Facebook. So those are the sort of two groups of people that we need to engage today, and it's around using the tools that are available to us in a way that makes sense to be able to have conversations with those people. So she gave us some things to think about, and I will write up those notes into something a little bit more constructive. But that was my first impressions from her session, and it was really interesting. I'll post some links and things on my blog as well. I'm here with Nathan Quintana, who I've met after a presentation about social media this afternoon, and we've been talking about intelligent disobedience. So Nathan, tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, so intelligent disobedience is a concept that comes from the world of CNI dogs. Only like 30% or so of dogs actually graduate through the program of CNI dogs, and the concept is that as you're working through them, they have to be able to demonstrate this idea of intelligent disobedience. The visually impaired, as they cross the street, may get all the signals saying it's good to go, I hear the lights, it's good, but the dog sees like a bicyclist coming, so they get in the way to stop them. So as project managers, we think it's great to go from a good project manager to a great project manager to demonstrate intelligent disobedience. It's your job as a project manager to protect the organization. You're on the ground, just like the dog is. And we tend to take ourselves too serious sometimes, but what we do we take very seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously. So the whole idea is that you're there to protect the organization and to also help the organization get better at what they do, because you know the team members, the sponsors, and all those items. So that's the general concept, but there's much more into it as well.
That's great, thank you very much.
You're welcome.